People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good evening, and I hope you're all doing well and safe. Now, I thought my videos for today was done. You can't see it, but out of shot, I can see them uploading onto YouTube. I thought, you know what, I've had my shower, I've had my dinner, I've watched Love Island. I snaked Man United versus Wolves for Love Island. Forgive me, people. And I thought it was done, but you're now seeing emerging reports, young striker Eddie Nketiah now, which he won't be going out on loan now, apparently, people. Now, you did see allegedly there was a leak on our club's website where they mistakenly put his would-be temporary home in Bristol City, people that have looked at him for a while. And it's funny enough, we was just speaking about this vid, people, where there's enough reasons for Eddie to go out on loan and get extended first team football minutes of currency, but also with a new manager, with concerns over Aubameyang and Lacazette, with looking at our bench, there's not, like, for me, looking at the bench, you need different utilities. It's about different tools. For me, on the bench, you have a winger that can change the game. Ideal world, you have a striker, number 9, plan B to come off that bench. You obviously have a fullback, you have a defender, you have other things in it, defensive, mid, shutting out games. You need a couple options on the bench. And Laka and or Aubameyang can start together and do that, but there's at least a role for, again, whether he plays a lot of minutes, Eddie Nketiah, is another thing, but there's a role for someone to be on the bench. Obviously, immediately Aubameyang is going to be missing 3 games, so that means naturally Lacazette will probably start, and then you go with 2 wingers, in which immediately Eddie Nketiah is on the bench and in line. Arteta has a squad and he's fully within his rights to utilise it. Would staying at Arsenal for the rest of the campaign help him? Potentially it could help Eddie Nketiah, because I'd love it to be that story. It's completely different from Harry Kane, but Harry Kane got his chance under whatever circumstances and took it. Rashford the same. Hopefully Eddie, if he gets an opportunity, he can take it, because we all want academy players to come through. Obviously, question marks, can he do it consistently? Can he do it at the top level? But a squad of 26 players, I wouldn't be against. If I was him, I'd go out on loan. But as a manager, with an Arteta's thinking cap, keeping him makes the right decision, people. I hope he gets a lot of football. I hope he can build on. I believe he's got 3 goals, 2 against Norwich, and last season the 20-year-old obviously bagged against Burnley, which is good. We all dream of scoring in the Premier League. Right now, he needs to just develop as a player. He needs to show he can score these goals and whatnot, people. Arteta's allegedly impressed with his attitude in training, and that's something you can tell Eddie's got. He never thinks he's made it. You can tell he's not resting on his laurels and thinking, I'm an Arsenal player. He looks like someone that genuinely plays like he's got a point to prove each and every time, people. So if he's impressed Arteta, and obviously with the dynamic of the Nelsons getting minutes, Saka getting minutes, Tyrese John-Jules has gone out on loan, but he was on the bench. Couple players that are going to be part of our future to some capacity moving forward, Emil the same, have got some opportunities. So Eddie and Joe as well, obviously probably the standout in terms of the amount of opportunities afforded. Martinelli stand out in being the best. Eddie could look towards that and think, can I get minutes? If he's going to stay, I'm sure his first priority, of course, is to get minutes at Arsenal, and hopefully he can compete and show it. He's 20 years of age, so the next few years are very crucial. This season, I don't think he's ever lost it, because he's learned under Bielsa. Playing under someone like that, you probably learn as a striker how to press, and everything's a W within an L. On the face of it, of course, he made 2, so he played 17 times or so. He made 2 league starts. It's not the loan spell we would have wanted. If I was a better man and he stayed at Arsenal, that's great, and he'll travel and he'll get minutes and whatnot, and obviously cup competitions. But would I expect him to play substantially, potentially, than he potentially could have if he went out on loan? I don't think he will. Obviously, things can happen, and I can't predict the future. Injuries can happen, Eddie can play in form and whatnot. I would love Eddie to be here, man. I think there's an opportunity here. Obviously, you'd probably be looking at Martinelli in a lot of people's heads. If Aubameyang and Lacazette were out, you'd probably want Martinelli through the middle and then go with wingers. But Eddie's an out-and-out striker. And just in terms of, regardless of the age and Eddie Nketiah, looking at Arteta's side, if you're missing out on a striker, you want something there. And obviously it gives him more variety in the team. It might not necessarily be the best for Eddie's development, but it could be. And you don't know what Arteta said. Arteta might, you never know, he might start him at Bridge. At Stamford Bridge. You don't know. You don't know a man's thinking or what he said. Obviously, we're all betting on Eddie Nketiah to be a success in any capacity, man, because we all want our homegrown players to make it, and I would want Eddie to make it. He was obviously, people said he was too small to make it as a footballer. He's done his thing. Obviously, it appears he's got a fairly good relationship with Ian Wright, to the point where Ian Wright is helping him in Leeds training. He's a homegrown London boy. Obviously, I don't know if he was an Arsenal fan growing up, but he could have easily slipped through the net, and he's done well to be a professional footballer, and he's shown he can score goals. He had some good moments at Leeds off the bench or in the cup competitions, and he scored some vital goals. It's just, on the scheme of it, minutes, currency, how many league starts, of course it's not the best, but I just wanted to have a positive second half of the season, man. That would be, for me, if I was in Eddie Nketiah's agent or his family or his advisors, substantial minutes, whether it's at Arsenal or elsewhere. If you genuinely believe you can compete in this team with Aubameyang, with Lacazette, and be on the bench, and when your chance comes, take it, then by all means do that. But what he needs to do, whether it's staying here or going elsewhere, when the season's all said and done, and he's able to analyse where he was in August 2019 to August 2020, how much has he developed? Has it been what he's expected? And then it's next steps, because he's 20, turning 21. You don't need to be the finished article, but what you do need to do is be exposed to senior football. You look at Tammy Abraham at Chelsea, way before he got an extended chance at Chelsea, and he even struggled a bit initially, and now he's flying. He had 60 goals within in the professional game in his CV. I love Eddie, but he doesn't have that. It's down to him. You can't do much if you're not given an opportunity, and I'll back him. The super sub role immediately won't be the best for him, but I see him as someone can come off the bench, can make things happen, can score a goal or two, and in a 26-man side it might be decent. Apparently, many people are reporting this. The Telegraph has basically gone with the headline: Arsenal decide against loaning him out after he impressed Arteta in training. And Arteta might see him as a project. Like, can I take him and make him a Premier League quality striker? Can I do the same with Nelson? Can I do it collectively with these players? And we've got a good bunch of players. It's naive to assume all these young players getting opportunities and touching on the verge of getting opportunities are going to make it here. But we need a couple to come through. And either way, these lot should be going for decent, respectable fees to reinvest. And that's only going to happen if we develop them to another level. According to David Ornstein specifically, Arteta has kept a close eye on Eddie in training since he was recalled from his Leeds loan, and has now decided he wants to hold on to the much coveted youngster. And that's probably why there's allegedly been a delay, and you've probably heard different teams linked with him. Villa, Norwich, all these teams. I can't lie, if Villa legitly are interested and they put the offer on the table, Arteta's fully within his rights to retain him and utilise him. But I can't lie, I think he should go if that's true. Again, if I'm Villa and the problems we're in, obviously they have difficulty signing a striker. Unbiased thing, I'd be a bit concerned as a fan. Yes, Eddie scores goals, but we're fighting relegation. He's got no real men's football goal scoring records to his CV. So yeah, it wouldn't make much sense. But from an Eddie perspective, or Arsenal, if it could happen, and there's a chance of him playing week in, week out, sadly because of injuries with their main strikers, regardless of what happens to Villa, that's great for us, because he's going to develop, he's going to play against some quality centre-halves and teams in the Prem and whatnot. And that's what we need from Eddie, man. I'm happy he's impressed, man. He's impressed Arteta. And like I said, for me, that's probably why he was that was probably the delay in the loan spell in hindsight, looking at it as why the others kind of, it seemed like when other players were linked with loan spells, we saw more progress. But with Eddie, it seemed delayed, and we just assumed it was a case of crossing I's and dotting T's. But it looks like Arteta wants to keep him at the club, and like I said, Arteta is fully within his rights to utilise the side and every member within it. Only time will tell if this will be the best for Eddie, but you lot know me. I love our Highland youngsters. I know he technically came from Chelsea, but I love our young players. And I've said it before, if we cannot have Sam Green was a bit of an enigma. He's still relevant to this, but listen, that guy's incredible. He can be a winger, he can be a 10, he could be striker. So disregard him. But we've got Freak for a minute. But for me right now, we've got Kyan Edwards next season, but we've got Eddie Nketiah, Tyrese Tronjels and Balogun. Slightly different ages and whatnot. If we can't get two of them into the first team in some capacity, hopefully all of them can be 20 goal league season strikers. But if one can be that and someone can be a reliable option in the side, and then one, if all of them could, it'd be great. And if one could be sold for 15, 20 up, it would be great. But there's no reason, if we cannot get two of the three, or at least one of the three, into that first team, is crazy. And even in Tyrese John Jules' case, you never know, because he could end up in a different role. He's got they've all got different qualities. Eddie's more Aubameyang. Tyrese appears a bit more Lacazette. He's got a bit more, you know, to his game in general play. Eddie scores goals for fun. They both got good general play, and Tyrese also does the same in terms of goals. Balogun's general play is decent, can improve, but is very decent as well, and he's a goal machine. If we cannot get some serious money for these three, or they cannot progress and have extended opportunities at Arsenal, then we're doing it all wrong. Not just them, there's a couple of players in a couple of positions, and I'm sure Eddie would want to stay and be part of it. Seeing his close friends that he's come through the academy, and Joe and Reece Nelson, he must think, yo, I want to be a part of that. Like, I want to stay close under the eye of the manager and things, because loan spells are not always the best. I do think Eddie can have a successful loan spell. The Leeds one didn't bang, but sometimes it's better, especially in Joe Willock's case, for example. If he went out on loan, would he necessarily have excelled? I think so, but let's just say he had a mediocre loan spell. Would he have got anywhere? But he stayed for a while in and amongst the first team, and now he's still not all the way there yet, but he's getting opportunities. And yeah, man, our academy we need to be getting players through, because I see what Chelsea are doing and stuff, and there's no reason as to why our academy can't plug some gaps in our side. You look at Tanganga at Spurs, 20-year-old, giving them an immediate option in centre-half now. Whether he develops and whatever level is down to him, but do you see what I'm saying? Trent at Liverpool, different positions, but you get the point. How much did Trent Alexander-Arnold save Liverpool? On a right back, purely because he's a world-class player, and the dynamics, they probably saved 100 million. Robertson, well, no, Robertson's different, so we won't hype on about that. He didn't come through the academy, he was bought from Hull, but you get the point, man. Eddie, allegedly, based on reports, is not going to be departing on loan. I wish him all the best in what he's doing, and I hope he gets some opportunities at Arsenal, and I'd love him to score and build upon the brace he got at Norwich a season or two ago in the League Cup. And obviously last season was a good touch for him to score his first Premier League goal. He's got to be patient. All you got to do is just stay ready, stay applying yourself, stay hungry, and when your opportunity comes, grab it with both hands, because that's the difference. Some players don't take their chance. Some players never get chances, but when you do get handed one, you have to grab it. And Arteta seems to take a liking to him. He might not get an opportunity immediately. It might seem like it was pointless to stay at Arsenal, but if he gets the opportunity, he has to grab it, because he's at a decisive period in his career as well. And especially as a young striker at these top teams, there's always going to be question marks. But God willing, he becomes a good player for us. And yeah, man. On that note, people, DG, I'm out. Thank you for all the support. I'm knackered, so I'm going to, go to bed. I'm out.